This is goodbye. Well, for now, that is. Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to KarotKraft. I am Nythe, and this is going to be episode number 40 of my KarotKraft series, and boy has it been a journey. We have spent a year on this server, making friends, building epic things, and going on journeys. Long journeys. Thank you, Iron, for the really long journey. But, as they do say, all good things must come to an end. And in today's video, we are going to have a little bit of a tour of my area. And because I really want to go through this and sort of show you exactly how we started. But before that, actually, wait a minute. But before that, hang on, wait a minute. There we go. I just want to say a massive thank you to anyone who has watched these videos over the last year. I really do appreciate it, and I am going to be doing more videos moving into KarotKraft Season 2. So we are doing a Season 2, that is correct. And yes, if you do enjoy these videos, please do go and hit the like button. Also subscribe so you can be notified as to when I post videos, and also leave comments down below. And in the comment down below, tell me what your favorite thing of KarotKraft Season 1 has been. Whether or not you're a member of the KarotKraft server or you're a viewer who happened to have stumbled upon my videos, let me know down below. I just wanted to interrupt it a little bit, just you know, you need to subscribe. Thank you. Yes, that's you. I'm talking directly to you right now, the one sitting there watching this video. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and also leave me a comment. Also, you might want to stay tuned right till the end because there's a Season 2 skin reveal. Let's get back to the tour where I show you where it all started. Which was here, and this... Which was here, and this was my starter house, which, as you can see, it looks a little bit higgledy-piggledy. We've got some stuff in here. I've left some shulkers around here and everything, but this was a nice starter house to begin our journey on KarotKraft Season 1. And we've got some little trinkets here, the boots that didn't fail, and we've got some of our TCG stuff. And we just got various bits and pieces. Then we got a little loft up here with some little trinkets from when we went to the Ocean Monument with Satan, the Easter eggs, my War Nythe head from when we played the Capture the Flag event over there, and you can just see the castle over there that we built. But this was the first build that I did within week 1 of KarotKraft. And what an epic build it was for the start of the season with our stone tools and everything like that. I then moved on to this area, built a little woodyard area here with some custom trees. These were my first major custom trees that I've actually done and really like the look of. These were made by following Grian's video that he posted a year or so ago on Hermitcraft, and explained breaking down the sort of making the tree sort of thing. And that was a really cool insight into how to do trees and stuff like that. And we just got our little storage areas over here. We got this quaint little path that goes down to our starter farm area where we've got our starter pigs, although that pig isn't meant to be there for some reason. We've got 2 of them in there. We've got our different templates of pigs now because the update happened during the time of this server where there was different variants of the pigs and everything. And down here is our little starter farm where we did a little bit of just starter mining. Got a few beetroots, and that stuff. And then we've also got our apparently holes in areas. But we've got pumpkins up there, and we've got a little melon and pumpkin farm over here. Just ignore that. That's where I was just storing stuff to clear up for this little tour. And we got our little sort of starter forge area here as well, with a blast furnace and our normal furnace, and the smithing table where we smithed up our netherite gear, which is currently all in here because I want to be able to show my skin and everything. And in here we've just got a little bit of stuff in here, and our first little storage area, which kind of ended up not being used as much anyway. But if we go up over here, the next build is this build that I did, which is our little stables. And we've got Morgana, our starter horse, which actually ended up being a valuable creature for the entire time on the server, because I didn't fly throughout the entire thing. And then we've got this area which has evolved over the course of the 40 episodes and over the course of the year, where I learned how to terraform. I learned how to properly build with texturing and things like that. Although I did start off knowing a bit about texturing. I have watched Fwip's videos and everything, so I have got a bit of insight into that from Fwip's videos. But we developed this area nicely towards the end of it. Loads of terraforming around here and everything. And it just looks really nice. But come up here, we've got this sort of stairway leading up to the sort of main entrance. And I kind of love this grand style that I managed to develop and keep going. And we've got some little trinkets in here as well. Our deep slate emerald ore, our stone diamond ore, and our deep slate coal ore, some of the rarest blocks of the game. And then we've got our sort of tribute to the journey here, where we've got some of this sort of stuff going. And then we got these lovely open areas as well. And where we started this video is my office area, which I actually really like, and I am definitely going to be bringing this sort of office space in some form into season 2, so that we've got that, because yes, we are going to be doing a season 2. It's probably going to go on for another for a year like this season did, so we shall get some episodes going there. And then if we come down here, as you're all aware, we've got our storage area here, which is nice and tidy, surprisingly. Just don't look in the barrels over there because, you know, reasons. But I kind of created a lovely little storage area which sort of worked on the vanishing glass type thing going backwards, and that's why we've got these over here which sort of vanish in the back. I wanted to sort of signify that. Obviously helped with continuity mod and things. And this is just like a little storage area that we set up in order just to keep things stored. We just put things in shulker boxes in there. We also experimented a lot with auto crafters, as they had just been added when the server had started. And we could do things like this, which gives me a shulker box, but they're not all made up shulker boxes back there. No, it is an auto crafter which allows you to basically compact that a lot more, so you can get shulker boxes on the go. And then we've got our moss farms, because I did a lot of learning of redstone as well whilst I was on this. And then we've got a mud farm down here. This is not as finished as I would have liked. Not as finished as I would have liked, but we have got it sort of at least neat and tidy there. And this is the sort of area that we were working on most recently. This is like the sort of finishing touches, really. And we got this lovely little garden area up here, which you can look out over onto the side over there, which I think looks amazing. I did work on this just before this episode, just to make it look a little bit more presentable, because it was all just flat grass and stuff. So we didn't quite get as finished as I'd have liked to have done, but we have got as far as we can really do in this season. Let's go down here into here where we've got our little dock area here. There's this little sort of like entrance way, playing around with the copper grates and everything that again was introduced at the beginning of this season, and all that's a okay, never mind. We'll actually, I don't remember building that. That was flat. What's going? Okay, no, we'll just stay away from there for now. But I don't know. There's just something that's drawing me to it for some reason. But then if we go over here and come up to our little dock area here, we got these drown that are just unfortunately always there now because they're in that boat, and I could put them out of misery, but I don't want to. But down here is where I really like, because this is sort of really where my terraforming skills came into fruition, and I learnt a lot about terraforming here. And also I started using the the coral blocks to sort of really give that sort of gradient and start telling a story with the terraforming. So if you recall that terraforming episode, I kind of said that this area would have once been under the sea, and then as the sea level has dropped, the coral's been exposed and unfortunately died, and like we've just chiseled out of the coral and stuff this stone way to get through down to here. And then we're coming up to one of the earliest parts of the build, but then also it ties in with some of the later parts. So we built this tower to cover my week 1 iron farm, which is still in here, still going, and where I learned to do all of this sort of redstone-y stuff and things with the autocrafters, because I absolutely love this machine. It converts the bone meal into bone blocks, which we originally composted from the poppies, and then we also get the iron block, which means that we don't actually need to have as much storage as we normally would do if we were doing this farm and leaving it running for a while. But yes, that is how that looks there. We are turning to night a little bit, and we've got this lovely little sort of area here to walk around and just immerse ourselves into the atmosphere and everything. We got this we've got another tree here which I made, and I am actually really liking the trees that I made. I don't think that they're kind of my own sort of spin on trees and stuff, but I did follow some of the stuff, as I said, that Grian taught there. I'm going to go up into this tower because I think it looks really cool, and we can get a good view of everything here. And I think it's this one that you go up. No, it's not this one that you go up. This one. Yes. And it's snowing up here, look. It's a little bit foggy, unfortunately. Let's see if we can sleep. I don't know if it's time to sleep to think yet. But look at the atmosphere from down here. You can just see the sort of images and the beacon towers and that sort of stuff now I created in the last episode. And the factory there, which is looking good. Let's watch the sunrise on our base area here, which I think will look amazing. Just coming over the crest of that mountain now, look. And this is the view that we've got. I do think that this has to be some of my favorite work that I've ever done in Minecraft. We terraformed the sea down below to make it look absolutely as though it's got a lot of depth to it. We've got this little rickety sort of dock there. We've got the bridge that I built as well. That was originally just dirt, and it does look really quite cool. I did work my way up and I got to about there, but unfortunately I have run out of time to really focus on getting everything else done. But this area here does look phenomenal, I think. And that's just, you know, me tooting me own horn, but I do really like how this has turned out. So now it is time to head to the... That's weird. Why is that doing that? It is time to head to the next part of our base, which was the warehouse. And this was where I did all of my sort of experimentations and resource gathering for the shops that I had in the shopping district. So if you recall, I had the end rods, bookshelves and chiseled bookshelves, dark oak and birch, end crystals, and at the time Minecraft's newest mob, the breeze. And we created this little chamber here in order to farm the breeze rods and everything, which worked really well, and we managed to sell quite a few of these. And this was the reason why we chose this area, was because we wanted to get access to the breeze, and then we could just quite easily do what we needed to do. And we developed this area and this build style as well whilst we were down here. And I really liked how this turned out. And it was just really fun to sort of like work with different materials that I haven't really done work with before, like this terracotta. I've never really done work with terracotta and stuff like that. We also built this sort of library section, although I apparently never got round to putting a roof on this thing. Huh. I thought I had done that. Well, apparently I didn't, but we got librarians for our need for the bookshelves and various other things like glass and stuff. And then we got our food, and we got our food area sorted out here, where we worked again with the auto crafters and sorting systems, developing our redstone skills for this. And we got carrots, and then over here we've got auto crafting into bread and auto crafting into hay bales and things. We've got a rabbit farm down here because because of rabbit stew. Lots and lots and lots of stuff really going on in here. We've got another little pumpkin and melon farm and some farmer villagers here as well, because they were useful to have. The mushrooms that I never ended up doing anything with, unfortunately. And we do have a bit of a mess in here. This was like my sort of workshop area, so we could just ignore that bit. People weren't really meant to go in there, so yeah. And also, Dux introduced us to TCG, or at least I think Dux introduced us to TCG. Yeah, and this was my TCG arena for the season, and we are going to be doing TCG in the next season, but we're going to have our own our own players. So we're going to see the likes of myself, Dodge, Mitch, Satan, Rory, all the players that you see on KarotKraft on a regular basis as part of this. So this was my warehouse area, and I can't really do a tour without showing off some of my builds in the shopping district. This was the guild hall, which was the first build that I did in the common area of the server. I created this so that we could all gather and distribute the Daves and everything. If you have seen the trailer for if you have seen the teaser trailer for season 2, me and Karot do talk a little bit about this, so do go check that out. And if you are actually interested in joining an SMP, by the way, we are starting on July 26th, so do go and check out the teaser trailer. And if you want to join, drop us an email and we can certainly look into getting you on to join if you would like to. And then this was the library that I also built for the literary collective, and this was, until the factory build that I did, this was the biggest build I've ever really done and completed in Minecraft, and it looks epic. I think it just sort of like embodies that sort of cozy library look and aesthetic and things. And then we had other people coming in and building like the little shelves and stuff here, and then I took over this. I think I took over this little area. Yes, I took over this little area for the for these sorts of books, and also up here this area for these books. So the person who originally did these books weren't able to continue, unfortunately. This is also my little enchantment setup, which I made, I think, in around about episode over 37 or 36, because I hadn't actually done an enchantment. I hadn't actually made an enchantment setup at all. I just used someone else's enchantment setup initially. So I finally got an enchantment setup because I thought it'd be useful to have, and I think I needed to replace an item that I had lost. I think I'd lost my helmet due to an unfortunate event, and yes, that was what happened there. We won't talk anymore. And then this was my first shop, and the first shop that was actually built for the shopping district, which was the Breeze and Rod shop. And we got Mr. Fabrizi in here, look. Fabrizi. Oh, hello. You don't like that? Okay, I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. Okay, fine. He's never done that before. So, this was just a short video, really. Just to show you the area. The area that I built up over the course of this season and turned into my own little area, and grew as a builder, a terraformer, a redstoner, a content creator. I created a lot of content on this server, and I'm really grateful for anyone who has watched my videos, liked my videos, left a comment on my videos, and also hit that subscribe button to be notified as to when I posted videos. But it is time to start afresh and begin a journey to a different land. And to do that, I think I need a change of wardrobe. There we go. What do you think to my new skin? I actually really quite like this. It's kind of like a sort of adventure feel to it. And then I've kind of made the cloak a little bit more, or the jacket a little bit more sort of rugged and everything. And I made the hood a little bit more relieved up at the top. And I've given myself some pointy ears. So, yes. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. I really enjoyed going through my old builds of this server and figuring out what I'm going to be doing in the next season. That's going to be on the 26th of July. I am probably going to stream it, so you do go check out the stream. I am now streaming both on Twitch and on YouTube from time to time, so do go check that out. Also, remember to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and also subscribe, so you can join me on this journey as I grow in not only building, terraforming, redstoning, but also as a content creator on YouTube. Because that's what I would love to be able to do, is grow even more as a content creator. So until next time, well, I suppose I'll say, I'll see you later.